What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Recap Reactions. We are back. Winnipeg Jets hockey is back. Now, I gotta say, I know I am a day late, and you guys know I'm a stickler for getting videos up as soon as the game ends, almost all the time, as quickly as I can, at least, I will say that. Yesterday was just a terrible timing for the game to happen, the first game of the season, obviously. Very busy with some personal stuff and some stuff with my girlfriend and her family, and just things like that we needed to take care of. And it's more important to do that, obviously, and put time with your loved ones and take sure they're okay than covering a stupid preseason Jets game where they lose 4-0 and look terrible anyway. So I do apologize about this being a day late. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because, let's be real, there wasn't a lot of good in this game anyway. And at the same time, none of this really matters because it's the first game of preseason. We had like one or two NHLers that were in this game, PLD, and I think Perfetti to the extent, because yeah, he played 20 games last year, but not a big experienced lineup, a lot of young guys, and this is just a game where no one stepped up. When you have a youthful preseason squad and no one steps up, it's a little disappointing because you want young guys to take opportunity, especially when this is really, their only shot to make it. You look at tomorrow's game and the lineup they're going to be rolling out: Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, Nikolai Ehlers, Cole Perfetti, Ville Heinola, Dylan Samberg. So many more regular high-end guys are going to be in the lineup, so you're not going to be able to have as much opportunity if you're trying to prove yourself as some of these other prospects and older guys are. But this game had its ups and downs. I'm just going to get it out of the way. I think David Rittich struggled a lot in this game. He did not look good to start. He has been my biggest concern from the offseason because we didn't do anything. If we were going to go out there and try to do something with the backup position to take David Rittich, I just thought it was a stupid decision. You guys disagree with me, some of you, a lot of you agree, but again, one game early on, I'm not overreacting. It just didn't look very good. Wasn't a lot of promising stuff in that one, so hopefully he can improve. But yeah, I'd actually much prefer to see Mikael Burden or Arvid Holm this preseason more, because I think one of those guys, more Burden than Holm, could actually make the jump and be a better backup than David Rittich. But this game had its ups and downs. I would say the first period obviously was 1-0 at the end of that first period for the Oilers, and then there were no goals in the second period. And I would like to think that even though the Jets didn't get a lot of good offensive looks at times, they were okay. Like, they held their own for a time. This wasn't a great game where they didn't do a lot right, but they were able to hold their own, I guess to say. And at the end of the day, none of this really matters. They're not playing for points. They're playing for shit, really. Like, all this preseason is, in my opinion, is Rick Bowness. Get the guys in that you want to play on this team full time and get your system working before the season starts. Because last year we had a rough start to the season. I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm pretty sure we were like 1-4 or something like that to start the year, or 1-3 to start the year. It was not very good. Obviously, we picked it up and actually got to first in the Central relatively early on in November, and then after there it was just a complete landslide. So I'm hoping that this year things are a little bit better out of the gate. I'm not asking for a perfect 10-0 run, but the inconsistencies last year just haunted the Jets all year long, and that's what my biggest fear is for this team this year, is get out there and get ahead of the issues that plagued you last year. Find what the new ones might be this year, but get on top of the shit that killed you last year, which was inconsistent play, terrible offensive management at times, and a bad defensive pairings and structure. I have faith in them, don't get me wrong, but like I said, this game doesn't gauge anything for the Jets season. I'm mostly just talking about what I want to see happen this year, as I bet a lot of you do as well, because, like I said, this game doesn't mean shit, and it's impossible to gauge anything from this game. You had 4 power play opportunities, nothing put up, 46% on the face-off only. They actually led in the shots on goal department with 29. I don't know, like, this game was just meant to me. Like, I liked Jansen Harkins and David Gustafsson. I thought they looked okay out there. David Gustafsson definitely starting to look like a full-time NHLer, I think, and definitely, if he continues what he showed in Game 1 in only 13 minutes, if he can grow more on that, I think he'll definitely lock up that third-line spot. I'm really thinking that we're going to have a fourth line of probably Dominic Toninato with Gustafsson at center, and then I would imagine Sam Gagner on the wing, but anything could happen. But Mikey Easton, again, he had some really good energy out there, and even though he was a -2, I thought that there were moments where he always works so hard. He's always the hardest working guy out there, so I liked what I saw from him. Mason Appleton didn't do anything. Pierre-Luc Dubois was invisible the entire game with 18 minutes of ice time too, led the forward core, and you can see him once. Christian Reichel was pretty mediocre. Cole Perfetti did his best, but really, like I said, no one stood out. I think the most mediocre performance on the entire team, being honest, was probably Kevin Stunland. The guy a lot of you guys have been interested, the unrestricted free agent picked up in the offseason. Didn't do anything with 17 minutes. nothing. Wasn't even a plus. He was a 0 on the plus minus even. Like, he didn't do anything. I didn't see a lot from him to gauge any real, like, ooh, you know, I should get hyped about him. I feel like Sam Gagner is the much better pickup for that fourth line department, and I'm more excited to see him play this preseason than Stunland, but again, he could surprise. On the defensive side of things, Logan Stanley is abysmal. Like, he is slowly playing himself to be the captain of the ECHL affiliated team for the Jets because he is terrible. There's no way Logan Stanley is going to make this team if he continues to play the way he has in the training camp scrimmages and in the first preseason game. Just terrible. Leon Gavanke as well did not play very well. He was struggling a lot on the back check, really making lazy poke checking plays. Kyle Capobianco, I liked his presence out there, playing 21 minutes of ice time, and I actually thought he looked pretty good, so I'm excited to see more of him as preseason progresses. Kovacevic, again, struggled a lot. Chisholm looked pretty good, even though he struggled at times. DeMello looked like DeMello, just a stable defensive guy, playing with a bunch of youth, so not really having to do much. Yeah, this game was really nothing, like, it was this. That's the best way to describe it, you know? Like, there's no words that can describe it. It's just, this game was nothing special, and at the end of the day, they lost. It's preseason, boo-hoo, on to the next one. So, I think I'm going to wrap it up right here. I don't have anything else to really say about this game because we didn't score any goals, got shut out, goaltending was bad, defense was mediocre, with some terrible individual performances, and the offense was invisible and never really gelled together with any real chemistry in the entire 60 minutes of hockey. So, it sucks that we lost, but again, these games don't mean anything. A lot of improvement is going to be needed by this club if they want to have a chance to win any real games, you know, like in the preseason especially. You can't just roll out guys like this in a lineup like this with not any real structure and any idea of chemistry and win games. I know preseason doesn't matter, but I'd like the team to win a couple preseason games, get some confidence under their belt, especially for these young guys, get some points on the board. You always want to see young guys and prospects scoring in preseason, and to get shut out by the Oilers 4-0 in an abysmal third period to boot, wasn't happy with it. But nonetheless, though, like I said, doesn't mean anything. On to the next one. And thank you guys so much for watching, and welcome back to Recap Reactions. It's going to be a hell of an interesting season, and I can't wait to map out the entire year with you guys, talking about every game and all the other stuff that's going to be going on this season. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Drop a like and subscribe because you're going to want to stay up to date with all Winnipeg Jets news that happens in the 2021-2022 season, regardless of the team that you root for. Because let me tell you, if you're not a Jets fan, we got a lot of interesting trade pieces that are going to be up for grabs if we suck going into the deadline. So subscribe to keep up to date with all the Winnipeg Jets news, trade rumors, lineups, and game reactions and recaps. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity. As always, follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Check all the affiliate links down in the description below. Whew, that was a lot of talking. I feel like a rapper right now. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Go Jets, go! Welcome back, guys.